The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, has reiterated the federal government's commitment to upholding the principle of press freedom as he tasked media professionals on doing their job with a sense of responsibility to the nation. Idris made this known when he received senior executives of Center for Media and Society who paid him a courtesy visit in Abuja. Idris, who called on journalists to avoid disseminating false information and stories that could raise tension in the society, pledged to work with stakeholders to promote compliance with the provisions of the Freedom of Information Act.
The media industry in this country, I still insist, the media is largely free in this country. You may have one or two infringements sometimes, but the media is largely free. But President Bola Ahmed Tinubu intends to make it even freer. There is no way democracy can thrive if the media is not free. The media has to be free for democracy to thrive, and government is pursuing that vigorously. We must emphasize that the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, because he himself is a product of press freedom, and he cannot in any way attempt to stifle that freedom that he himself has enjoyed. His message consistently to Nigerians is that everyone will breathe. The poor, the rich, everyone will have to breathe. And it is the media that will create that environment for that freedom to occur. So I want to reiterate the commitment of government to ensure that there is press freedom in this country. The press is even freer. But like I always say, freedom is not free if it does not have responsibility. So as you have press freedom, you also have responsibility. You cannot malign, you cannot attribute things that are wrong, you cannot just say things that are untrue, you cannot report issues with the intention to create disharmony, discontent, and ultimately break down law and order for our citizens and say you are doing press freedom. Press freedom, yes, but responsibility also, yes. With every press freedom, there must be responsibility attached to it. And that is what I think that the media industry will also help to achieve. While we drive press freedom, we should also carry along with it the responsibility for the media to discharge its duties creditably, honestly, and transparently. You cannot report what is wrong and say you are doing press freedom. That is totally unacceptable. Well, as unacceptable as it is that also the media will be gagged. Government will not in any way allow the media to be caged. I can give you that commitment because this is the commitment I have received from the president. But again, as professionals, we also need to know that we need to be responsible in exercising that press freedom. And like I always say, the biggest victims of fake news, misinformation, disinformation are actually media professionals themselves. Because once we allow people to just put out things that are untrue about our society, untrue about our country, untrue about our environment, then trust and confidence in the media itself will be eroded. I'm happy that citizens are beginning to know that there are people who practice this freedom of expression responsibly, and so when they hear certain things, they also go to those platforms to go and cross-check and to fact-check and to find out whether what they have heard is true. What am I saying? We must put out press freedom, but we must also ensure that there must be responsible press freedom for us, for all of us to thrive, for democracy to take its roots in this country and elsewhere.
The freedom of the press and of expression for all citizens is central to the functioning of democracy. For media professionals to function professionally, the internal and external environments of practice must be conducive and enabling. We see that the government, particularly through you, has expressed commitment to ensuring freedom of the press and expression. That is very much appreciated, sir. But there are some concrete steps that we urge the government to take so that it can truly walk the talk. We want to implore you and the ministry to help push or review of some sections of the Constitution in the interests of press freedom and of this sector.